Welcome to QueAquatics and Exotics. My name's Suzy, and today we're going to be redoing this 2.5 gallon Betta rack. I've been looking at these Bettas lengthwise for a very long time, and I would like to see the tanks sidewise, a little bigger viewing space. So I'm going to try to turn this rack sideways, and if there's room, maybe 2 racks, like kind of staggered, like step-like. So let's see how that works out.
Hey everybody, it's SuzyQue and I'm here to show you just what I do. I have a passion for fish and exotics too, so come along with me, it's SuzyQue. Hey.
Okay, where to get started? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear up a little space, and here's my idea. I'm going to tear down these tanks, move them aside, especially the ones with my Betta fish in them. I'm going to move them aside. Then I'm going to set up a new row where this 2x4 is actually going to be on end and not lying down like this is. Because I can kind of see, even though they're 2.5 gallons, that's 20 gallons a tank. So I'm going to have it on end. And I'm going to put one row lengthwise up front. And if there's room in the back, I'll put another row on top. Let's get started. I'm going to start by draining the tanks. Almost forgot. While this is draining, I forgot about the heaters. I've got to unplug all the heaters first. So I'm going to follow the wires and unplug all the heaters. Almost forgot. Okay, now my next step is I'm going to rinse off each of the sponge filters in tank water. And I'm going to let it sit inside the cichlid tank to keep the bioactive media fresh. So while I'm doing this, each one of the sponge filters I'm going to clean out with tank water and put in that tank. I was so busy talking about the heaters, I forgot to show you where I was putting the Betta fish in the interim. So I'm going to be keeping them down here until the tanks are ready. But eventually I don't want any tanks on the bottom, so that's all going away. I got something crawling on me. I'll be fine, but if it's a dubia roach, you're going to see me freak out. So I'm not going to keep any of the sand from these 2 tanks. I'm not going to keep anything from these tanks because they've got duckweed. May keep the soil from this tank. But everything else, I'm just going to start from scratch. What I'm going to do is put these 2 cinder blocks on their side. These are 2x3s. I'm replacing them with 2x4s. On end. After I added the level, I saw that I could very easily fit my 3 5-gallon guppy tanks, which will get them off the ground. Well, not the ground, but you know, the lower level. I don't want on the lower level anymore. my 3 5-gallon guppy breeder tanks, and then across the back my 2.5. I can fit 4 or 5 back there. Frees up the other side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my 2.5 gallons all fit in this space. Now this is a Home Depot light. It's a LED. Oh, my eyes, it's so bright. So what I thought I was going to do is get something for the front of it, like, I wish I knew how to explain it. Like maybe a piece of black cardboard, and just bring it down 2 inches, just enough so that when I'm standing here, I don't get that glare. It's going to be more like that. My eyes, I got to get used to it. Wow. So it'll be more like that. Is this the light that's going to stay here? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how many plants are going to go in, if I really want something to feed the plants, or do I just want something to see my fish? So I'm still debating on that one. This seems to do a pretty good job for the upper level. Jay's got his own light, right, Jay? Can you see Jay? You don't see Jay. So I don't have any backdrops yet, but the beauty of this setup, that if I have a backdrop, I just have to put one full backdrop behind these, because these tanks are up actually behind them. They're not just sitting on top of them. They're not overlapping them. They're behind them. So I could put a backdrop for that and a different backdrop for that, for the whole set of tanks, not just the tanks individually. So I kind of like that. I think this rack came out really well. I'm so thrilled. Not only did I get 3 of my 5-gallon tanks off the bottom level, up eye level, which I think is amazing, I was also able to set up all my 2.5, well, not all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my 2.5-gallon tanks up here. So as you can see, these are the ones with my cherry shrimp that I brought their filter in here, and the Betta fish are still in that tank because these are not cycled. So I'm cycling those tanks, and I'll probably bring in a seasoned sponge filter to cycle them, but right now they're good where they're at, and it'll give me a chance to aquascape them. So I'm really looking forward to scaping these 2.5-gallon and the 5-gallon, but I'm going to start with the 2.5-gallon tanks. And I'm going to get a lot of ideas from the small scape. If you haven't visited that channel, you should go check it out. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit subscribe. She's got some great ideas and some good videos out there. So check out the small scape. And I'm certainly going to check out the small scape and get some ideas for these 2.5 gallons. Looking forward to it. So I hope you enjoyed this rack upgrade, and I'm very excited, and I can't wait to dive deep and show you all the different tanks and what I have in them. Stay tuned if you want to see what's inside these tanks. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, it's SuzyQue. Hey everybody, it's SuzyQue. Nah nah, hey everybody, it's SuzyQue. So come along with me. Said I'm SuzyQue.